Good afternoon, everybody. I'm kind of nervous because this is our first time of coming to Europe. And German, the Cologne Art Fair is our first stop of entering European markets. So I think I should give a try of doing these talks to mention a little bit about our curation program. First of all, I would like to introduce my company first. We are Hann agency from Taiwan. And we actually is a kind of international artist management company because we are dealing with international artists. Of course, there are some from China and then from Japan, from Asian countries. And for this time, we are trying to bring 3 artists from Asia to Europe. For this time, we have an artist, Cen Long, who is from China. And also, we have a Taiwanese artist whose name is Chiu Dou. You can see behind me, there's one of his paintings. And also you can see Yasuko Hayashi from Japan. And for the main thing of our curation program of this time is what we called contemporary Asian paintings, Oriental Souls and Concepts. Why we mention, we made these talks in the name of the Trio of Expressionism Paintings. That's because our artists are just like singing the song, singing in the heart, but in front of their works. So the people, the audience can feel their heart through their works. So I would like to start to introduce, the most important paintings that we brought to Europe this time. Which is called Impress of Snowy Peaks. This is actually a triptych of the 3 pieces. And those people, with little girls, which is a very shy drummer. Actually, she's from Xinjiang province of China, which is located at the northwest south part of China. And she's playing the drum, but you can look at her eyes. She looks a little bit shy and a little bit curious about the outside world. So why we appreciate this artist Cen Long's work so much? That's because even though he's using the figurative expressionism, but you can just feel like his Oriental spirit inside of his paintings. And his technique is superb because you can see from her texture and the compositions of the brush, and also the powerful brush strokes. And so I guess that's why he can make his paintings really connected with the people, because he puts a lot of her heart, her soul, his heart, his soul, and his energy into the paintings. And for the middle part of here, you can see the sheep and also the gods. They are, kind of running in front of the swimming pigs. And look at the eyes. Each of the eyes looks very alive, just like human beings. And they all have their own personality. Even though they are animals, because to God, they are just like human beings. And also you can see there is a folk bard. He is using the guitar to sing. And then you cannot see his face very clearly, but you can just feel like what he is singing so strong and so heartily, because for those people in Xinjiang province, they always feel very small. They feel themselves is very small because in front of the nature, in front of the God, they always be very gratitude. So they think they are small. That's why they are not playing the games to play music. They're using their heart to play music, to devote it to the nature. So that's why his works actually talks a lot about abstract spirits, not only the figurative, the surface. And there is another work called Starry Night, Starry Sky. And we can see a brave mother standing, in a canyon of somewhere in China, and she's holding the baby. The baby was tiny, and the mother, in these paintings, you can see the mother just like the goddess of the world. Because to this artist, the mother always acts a very brave role. They protect their kids with the most great braveness. That's why the mother here looks sacred. Also, we have another paintings, also talking about the braveness of the mother, which is this one we call the rocks. In these paintings, Cen Long trying to capture the scene of a mother feeding the baby, because in this moment, in this moment, she looks scared. Sacred, just like the Virgin of the Rocks. That's why we name these paintings the rocks. So as you can see, Cen Long's painting is more like, he's from China, and he tried to capture the spirit of the Chinese, from a lot of places of China. But still, the one thing that connected with different countries, with different people, with different countries, that's because he actually really expressed good feelings about those people by using his high artistic skills. So we are introducing another artist from Taiwan called Chiu Dou. This is the title called Often. Why we wanted to bring this work to these exhibitions, that's because Chiu Dou is using, the Western material of, the Western material of our phones, but you can feel his Oriental mind, in the paintings. It's not only the surface talk, it's more like you can feel the deeply, there is a more deep inside. Especially you can see from his practicing, because he's using the canvas as a process of processing, a process of practicing. So it's, you can see a lot of lines, a lot of spaces, and also he is trying to make a very, his own styles of composition by using the color of black, white, and gray. So his works, to me, it's not only like the abstract expressionism. It's more like Oriental-minded abstract expressionism. So we think it's really nice that we bring it to here to introduce to people. So I'm going to talk about the third artist, which is who is a Japanese artist, Yasuko Hayashi. There is a painting here we call the Road Tree in Winter. Actually, this works, she did a sketch in Italy like 10 years ago, maybe longer before. She was traveling in Italy, and that is the winter, a very cold winter, and she sees the trees outside of her apartment. Then she feels like those trees are fighting for their life. They are fighting with the winter. So it must be a really strong struggling. So she just gained the power through those trees. That's why she painted this work. You can see there's not only the surface of the tree, because the tree is figurative, but you can feel more abstract spirit behind the trees. For example, you can see the blue something behind the tree. That's actually more like, to me, it's more like the fire of your life, your fire of your energy. So you have that, and you can fight for your life. You can fight for your, difficulties. So to us, this is only, actually Yasuko's works not only figurative. Her works are more like half figurative and half abstract expressionism. So for this time, we trying to bring these three different styles of the painters from Asia. That's because we're trying to show the different beauties from the world to German market. And especially the works are the representations of their personality. And you can see through their paintings, their personalities are subtle and elegant. And also, they perform a very pure Oriental mind, which we value is very important things. Because when we appreciate art, we strongly believe that the art should touch the people's heart, not only the surface that you look at it and you feel like very strong or very shocking, but instead we wanted to show something that can last at least longer, and when you are looking at it, you will appreciate more. So that's why we choose these three artists to here and trying to do our presentation, and also that's why we have these talks. Anyway, thank you for listening, and see you next year.